We're only hours away from counting down the new year. And my question to you is, have you thought about what you want to achieve in 2020? Have you thought about how you're going to get there? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about exactly that. How to achieve your goals, how to set goals for 2020. And most importantly, I'm going to share not only what I'm kind of thinking about right now and how I'm setting goals as an entrepreneur, but also how to set goals in your personal life. And most importantly, how to make sure that you have a great year next year, which begins in just a few hours now. So thank you for joining this live stream. And by the way, this is a live stream. I see a few of you have already joined. So because we're live, go ahead and shoot me a chat. Let me know what your goals are this year and what you want to achieve in 2020. And where I want to begin is kind of on a business focus, just because that is such an important part, I think, in any of our lives. And, when I'm starting to think about business, I think really when anyone focuses on goal setting, a lot of times they're very much focusing on the outcome. Like, what is the outcome that you want to achieve? And what I'm going to do here is I put together just a little list of how you can go about thinking about your goals in the new year in kind of a way that I've found to be better, because I've really spent a lot of time learning about this, practicing this, and these are just some of the tips that I can share with you that will help you set goals more quickly and make sure that they're actually goals that are going to make you happy, which is extremely important. So going ahead, first off, start to think about what you want to achieve next year. And by the way, I'm going to wait till the very end to share this visualization technique that I actually think is just going to bring this all together for you in a very easy way. So, but before we do that, I want to go more into, focusing just on like, what are your goals going to be, and helping hopefully you think through that today, because, this is December 31st. There are not too many hours until 2020, and it's going to be a big year. So I plan on crushing it, and I want to make sure that you crush it too. So, first, one way to start thinking about this is just thinking about like, what do you want to achieve? And the way that I do this is actually not by thinking about the outcome, but it's by thinking about the feeling you want to have. So just start thinking like, it's a year ahead. How do you want to feel? How was your year? And were you fulfilled? So first, just think about like, it's December 31st, 2020. Put yourself in that moment. And are you happy with how the year went? Did you feel like you achieved everything that you set out to? And if the answer is no, if that's making you a little uncomfortable, that's something that you can start working on right now. And if you feel good about it, then we can move on. So, once you're putting yourself in that kind of mode of, it's a year ahead, I've had a good year, I'm very satisfied with it. Now start looking back on your year and start just visualizing a day. Like what does a normal day look like for you? And as you kind of experience the year itself, that's going to help you start to figure out what it's going to look like. And in the end, really all our life is a series of experiences, right? It's not this like there's one purpose. It's not like that. It's really about like looking through your own eyes and seeing like, okay, think about the life you've already had up until here. Like that, your life is really just a series of experiences, day by day, hour by hour. So look at 2020 like that. If right now, like I know probably 95% of people, by the way, 95% of people don't set goals. That's rule number one. And the fact that you're here with me right now, oh, what's up, Santi? Man, good seeing you last week. The fact that you're here right now thinking about how to set goals is already going to put you off to a much better start than you otherwise would be at. So one thing that I really hope you do today is, it's December 31st, just spend an hour thinking about what next year is going to be. What goals are going to be important to you? What is it exactly that you want to achieve? And I know for me, like, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at my business, and my biggest goal is to start a new company. I sold my last one a few years ago. I've been consulting ever since then. And, I still have my consulting practice, but I'm really focused on getting that new business off the ground. And so with that, you can see how, some of the things that, I've been talking about on this channel over the past few months, like MarketScience, for instance, is a way to quickly test out new business ideas and marketing strategies. So, really for me, what this is coming down to next is putting that into action. So, if we're looking at kind of how I'm thinking about this for next year, like that's a big goal of mine, is get a product off the ground. Another thing is, so we've talked about focusing on what you want to achieve. We've talked about visualizing your day. And finally, I want to, on the business kind of side of things, I want to think about who do we want to meet? And that's something where, like I was meeting a lot of people when I was running one of my previous companies, CoinSetter, back when I was living in New York City. Very easy city to meet people in, by the way, because it's literally just like you walk down the street and you can go meet a CEO of a Fortune 500 company if you're doing something interesting to them. And, I was traveling a lot, but the past year, I've really been quite a bit of a hermit. So for 2020, for me, one of my kind of goals, resolutions, whatever you want to call it, is to start meeting more people again. And just to give you an example of how I'm putting this into action, you can see it right here on this channel. I recently started what's currently called the Visionary Show. I might change it because really where this channel is going is every day is a live stream. And some days I'll be talking about stuff like this, like visualization, meditation, how to set goals, how just like really life tips that I've found to be useful. And as I keep learning new ones, I'll share them with you too. But then there are other days on this channel where I've been interviewing venture funded entrepreneurs. These are startup entrepreneurs who have typically raised between like 2 and 10 million in the last year. And so these are people who are like really at the cutting edge of technology who we're interviewing. And that all kind of ties into my New Year's resolution of making more friends. So I'm gonna, that's the business side of this. If you have any questions, or if this is just bringing up any type of inspiration on your own goals, let me know about it in the chat. And I would love to kind of hear what's on your mind. Now, moving on to more of the personal side of things. I first wrote here relationship, and it has a question mark because some of you might be in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for a year now, so this isn't so much for I'm definitely thinking about where I want my relationship to go. But if you're not in a relationship yet, start thinking about the kind of person you want to be with in 2020. Most people don't, again, this is just like goal setting for business, life, anything in general. Most people don't actually spend time thinking about who it is they want to be with. So start thinking, most people are just like, actually, they're like, okay, I want to be with someone who's a billionaire and they are a former supermodel and they make me dinner every night and, go on and on. And it's like, instead of thinking about relationships in that way, start to think about like specifically the type of person you want. Like, who would you want in that moment? Just when you're home at night, think about who you might want next to you. What might you be talking about? And that's actually how my girlfriend and I ended up being together. Is we were doing visualization exercises a lot like that on our own. And then, a few months later, look at us now. So relationships, friends, what kind of friends do you want to make in 2020? And really the coming years in general. for instance, there are many studies that have shown that most friendships only last 7 years. And maybe you've already experienced that in your own life as well. So it's not so much about giving up the friendships. If you have friendships that, by the way, we got some music going in the background. I hope you're enjoying these chill wave vibes. So it's, there might be people in your life who you do need to let go. You're going to know that. And if that's the case, then let them go. But I would instead be spending a lot more time thinking about who it is that you want to meet. Like who is it that is going to make your life interesting, and who do you want to be spending time with? And I think really related to that is what are the kind of trips you want to take? So, we actually, my girlfriend and I have been thinking about exactly that in sort of our goal setting that we've done, which frankly, it doesn't take that long. It takes like 20 minutes, so go do it. But for instance, like we just got back from Mexico a few days ago. Next, we're going to be going to Austin in February. Then we're going to be going to Miami in March, and then Europe in June. And that's what we've planned so far. And I really want to go to Asia again. I feel like that's probably going to be more of a 2021 goal. But, this year for me is mostly going to be heads down, getting that next company off the ground. So, and with that, like, in my own personal life, YouTube is something that I'm actively thinking about quite a lot and visualizing too. By the way, don't forget, we still haven't gotten to this like visualization yet that I think is going to be really helpful. These are more like points that I think are going to help you understand how to do it better. So for me, I'm actively thinking about the YouTube channel all the time. Like basically every day I'm thinking about where I want it to go, how we can cover topics that are more interesting to both you and me. And, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, they say that it takes 2 years to finally have good videos. I'm 18 months in. So in about 6 months, I'm really expecting this channel to blow off. I don't know about that. Blow up. And if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel too, now is the best time to do it so you can get those 2 years of sucking out of the way. And yeah, there's so much I've honestly learned through this process. Like when I go back on some of my videos a year ago, even, I just look at, they were more of a vlog style, just covering like really random topics. And what I've learned, which I can share with you, is that it's really about helping you. That's what this video is about. Also, with this whole live stream format, my goal is, hey, Anna, thinking more in how you want to feel. That is really key. And I really should have written that better out here. That's kind of, so instead of just thinking about the outcome, I think Anna's onto a really good point here, which is thinking about, kind of like we were saying at the beginning of the video, thinking about how you want to feel a year from now. Are you satisfied? Hopefully you're not unhappy in that thought, but a lot of people, myself included, who are very goal driven are always kind of in this state of feeling like it's not enough. Like what we've achieved is not enough. There's always like that higher level. And so it's really about breaking out of that and starting to plant the idea now that 2020 is going to be an amazing year. And to the extent that you can really start feeling that excitement and visualizing ahead and thinking about the fact that 2020 was a great year, that's kind of the first step. And that's going to get us actually to this visualization, which is what we've been waiting for in this video. And the first question is, I want you to, this is different than a normal visualization exercise, because a normal visualization exercise is usually purely focused on the outcome. So when you're thinking about like what you want to achieve, a lot of people get trapped up in how you get there. So what you hear a lot of people say on YouTube when they're talking about law of attraction or visualization is just focus on the outcome and don't worry about anything else. It'll just happen. But there's actually a better way of doing this. And the first step is to look at your life 12 years from now. So you're looking at your life. It's December 31st, 2020. 2020 is done. It's almost over with. How do you feel in that moment? And when your eyes are closed and you're thinking about this, are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with the 2020 you had? And what happened in it? What did your year look like? And so the first thing is really going ahead, and now we're going to go backwards and start thinking about like what happened next year. And when you're actually, because when people are goal setting, they're typically thinking about things from now, and they kind of set these arbitrary goals, and a lot of times they can't be achieved, and it's just a fucking mess, to be perfectly honest. So this is a better way of finding those goals that are actually going to make you happy. And so, looking 12 years ahead, then start to go backwards and say, okay, what happened in November and December? What happened in the summer? What happened in January and February? And then start to actually go into some of those days and thinking about like, what do you want your day to look like? There might be this goal. For instance, entrepreneurs have this tendency to say, I want to start a $100 million business. I want it to be making $100 million a year, and I want full freedom. And those things absolutely do not go together. So this is kind of a practice of figuring out what you really want. Like maybe that goal a year from now, you start feeling like, okay, I made whatever it is, whatever number, arbitrary number you come up with is, but then you start thinking about like, how did I get there? That's what this visualization is. And you're either going to find out that goal wasn't plausible, like there wasn't really a way to get there, or you're going to find out that it made you unhappy. So this is going to help you start to look at, okay, this is actually what I want my day to look like, and this is where that leads, and am I satisfied with that? And if you do this visualization practice enough, and really, I would just say, I mean, I've been doing this on and off for the past 2 weeks, but, and you can actually do it any time of the year. There's no reason you can't do it in June, but this is a special time of year where people are really starting to think about the year in total. And 2020 is, I think everyone is really excited, mostly just because of the number, such a round, perfect number. But I think that coming in with that kind of excitement, like this is the year to put a plan in place. And if you can put a plan and kind of figure out where you want to go and know that you're heading somewhere that will actually satisfy you, that's going to put you that step ahead to actually achieve it. So this is something that is very helpful to me. When you're practicing goal setting, just start thinking about it day by day. Stop thinking about it in terms of like the absolute goal that needs to be achieved, and start thinking about what you want your life to be like. Because like I said, life is just a series of experiences. And if you think about the life that you've had up until now, it's just a flow of changing places and people and thoughts. And so that's what the rest of your life is going to look like too. And that's really what goal setting is all about, is figuring out what that is going to be, what you're going to see out of your eyes, and who you're going to be with and stuff like that. It's not so much about like, how do I hit this really big goal, because that will fulfill me, because it won't, let me tell you. So that's it for this episode. What I want to say before we go is, first off, if you're one of my viewers right now, thank you for viewing. Make sure you hit that like button and leave a comment or something in the chat if you haven't already. That just helps YouTube's algorithm to make sure that more people see this. And if you have any goals of your own, let me know in the comments. Would love to hear about it. This channel is turning into live streaming. So right now, Monday through Thursday, I'm going to be live streaming every day. And for now, it's going to be at 4:20 p.m. So we might change that. We might go a little later, whatnot. Today, we're obviously way earlier than that because I have plans later. And I wish you the best new year. I truly hope that everything you want in life comes true in 2020. Start thinking about those goals. Start thinking about the life you want to live, and it'll happen. And thank you so much for tuning into this channel. I'll see you here tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do that so that you get notified about my live streams and can participate in future episodes. And until tomorrow, because I'm not stopping on the 1st, I'm just getting started. Until tomorrow,